This is a story about the noise that builds an empire and the luxurious quiet that comes to define it. It is the story of a boy from the gritty streets of Waterford, Portmore, who learned to weaponize his voice, whose words became rhythms, and whose rhythms built a fortune so vast, it transformed the very landscape of his homeland. This is not just about the luxury lifestyle of Jamaican artist Valiant in 2026. This is an autopsy of a dream turned concrete, steel, and chrome. This is about the mansions that are not just homes, but monuments, and the man who lives in them, forever caught between the echoes of his past and the staggering reality of his present. To understand the weight of the gold chains, you must first feel the weight of the struggle. Born in 1996, Valiant's early world was not one of sprawling verandas and infinity pools, but of a relentless grind that defines so many in Portmore. The sounds were not of bubbling jacuzzis, but of bustling streets, the arguments of neighbors, the distant bass of competing sound systems, and the persistent, whispering fear of lack. His given name, Raheem Bolan, was a promise his circumstances struggled to keep. Music wasn't just an escape. It was the only viable exit he could see, a narrow, chaotic tunnel lit by the strobe lights of street dances and stage shows. His initial forays into music were met with the brutal indifference of an industry saturated with talent. His struggles weren't romantic. They were hunger pangs. They were the frustration of a rhythm in your head with no studio to give it voice. They were the sight of your mother's tired eyes. This period, this raw, unvarnished chapter, is the foundation upon which every single one of his luxurious possessions now rests. You cannot appreciate the height of the tower without acknowledging the depth of the quarry from which its stones were carved. His breakthrough, when it came, was like a dam bursting. It wasn't a slow build, but a cultural takeover. Tracks like Dunce Check and North Carolina became more than songs. They were anthems for a generation, soundtracks for both the street corner and the dance hall. His voice, that distinctive, charged instrument, became the vessel for a new kind of dancehall energy, unapologetic, witty, and irresistibly catchy. The money started to flow, not in drips, but in torrents. And with it came the first, tentative steps into a world of luxury. The first major purchase is always the most telling. For many, it's a car, a flashy statement to announce arrival. And while Valiant would certainly acquire those, his instincts pointed elsewhere first. The initial investments were strategic, state-of-the-art home studio equipment, not just to create, but to own his sound completely. A sleek, powerful SUV for security and presence on Jamaica's roads. And, most significantly, property. Not a mansion yet, but a solid, well-appointed house for his family, a literal shelter from the storm of his past. This was luxury with a purpose, protection, stability, and the tools to build further. But 2026 is a different universe. The boy from Waterford is now a mogul, and his lifestyle reflects a scale of wealth that moves beyond mere purchases into the realm of legacy building. Let's start with the most glaring symbol, the automobiles. Valiant's garage in 2026 is a curated museum of velocity and status. The Mercedes-AMG G63, that boxy, brutalist fortress on wheels, is likely still present, a favorite for its imposing stance. But it's now joined by far more exotic companions. Picture, if you will, the sleek, electric silence of a Porsche Taycan Turbo S in a custom, vibrant Jamaican hue, a symbol of embracing the future while turning heads. There are whispers, substantiated by blurred social media clips, of the ultimate prize, a Bugatti Chiron. Not the standard model, but a tailored masterpiece. Imagine the carbon fiber body painted a deep, iridescent green and gold, the colors shifting in the Caribbean sun. The interior, stitched with leather the color of rum cream, would have subtle embroidered motifs, perhaps a small, discreet V in the headrest, or a pattern reminiscent of Jamaican lacebark. This isn't just a car. It's a mobile piece of art valued at over $3 million, a testament to the fact that a Jamaican dancehall artist can not only sit at the table of global hyperluxury, but can customize its very settings. However, the true epicenter of Valiant's luxury universe in 2026, the subject of much fascination and rumor, is not a car, but a castle. Not one, but two primary mansions that represent the twin pillars of his existence. The first, his Jamaican fortress, is where his heart resides. Located not in the traditional celebrity enclave of Beverly Hills or St. Andrew's sugar-rich hills, but likely on a secluded, jaw-dropping stretch of coastline in St. Mary or Portland, or secured within an ultra-private compound in Jacks Hill overlooking Kingston. This isn't just a house, it's a compound, a self-sustaining ecosystem of opulence and privacy. The gates, likely 10 feet tall and fashioned from black wrought iron with his logo subtly woven into the design, open to a winding, palm-lined driveway lit by low, ground-level lights that make the path glow at night. The architecture is a masterpiece of modern tropical design. Think stark, clean lines of white concrete and glass, softened by walls that slide away completely, blurring the boundary between inside and out. The roof is likely a dramatic, sloping affair of native wood or cool, living green turf. You enter into a great room where the first thing that hits you is not the decor, but the view. A wall of floor-to-ceiling glass frames the Caribbean Sea in a living, moving painting. The room itself is a study in elevated minimalism. The floors are polished poured terrazzo, cool underfoot, embedded with chips of mother-of-pearl that catch the light. Furnishings are low-slung, Italian, upholstered in neutral linens and cottons, but punctuated by vibrant, explosive pieces of Jamaican art. A large-scale painting by a master like Albert Artwell or a contemporary genius like Michael Elliott, depicting not a serene landscape, but a dynamic, almost musical scene of movement and color. A sculpture of twisted, polished lignum vitae, the ancient and dense Jamaican wood, sits as a centerpiece, a nod to roots that are unbreakable. The heart of this home, ironically, is the kitchen. For an artist who came from little, the abundance of food is a potent symbol. This is no ordinary kitchen. It's a professional-grade haven with dual islands, one of marble, one of rich, dark mahogany. The appliances are seamlessly integrated, all smart connected, brushed steel or custom paneled to match the cabinetry. A walk-in cold room stores not just champagne but the freshest, most exotic local produce, starfruit, soursop, sweet Julie mangoes in season. It's a space designed for lavish entertaining, for cooking massive, joyful meals for his extended family and closest friends, a direct reflection of the communal culture he came from. Now executed on a platinum scale, the master suite is a sanctuary within a sanctuary. The bed, a sprawling platform, faces another seamless glass wall opening onto a private deck. The ensuite bathroom is a spa. A freestanding stone tub overlooks a private, lush garden. The shower is a rainforest-style cascade with multiple jets, lined with river stones. But here, in this most personal space, you'll find the touches that speak to the man, not the mogul. Perhaps a framed, slightly faded photograph of Waterford. A small collection of his first, now scratched headphones. A notepad and pen by the bed for capturing rhythms that come in the night. The closest is a marvel of organization, but within its rows of tailored suits from Savile Row, because in 2026, his style has evolved to include sharp, international tailoring for business meetings, designer tracksuits, and countless pairs of limited edition sneakers. There hangs, preserved, the first jersey he ever bought with his own music money. Outside, the property unfolds like a five-star resort. The infinity pool appears to spill directly into the sea below. A fully equipped outdoor kitchen and barbecue area, with a pizza oven and a jerk pit crafted from traditional drum barrels, speaks to his Jamaican soul. There is a state-of-the-art gym, of course, with a view to motivate the most grueling workout. But more impressively, there is a professional-grade recording studio, built as a separate, soundproofed villa on the property. This is where the magic still happens, where he can create without ever leaving his domain, a direct line from his luxurious present to the creative wellspring of his past. Security is invisible but omnipresent, a perimeter of sensors, discreetly placed cameras, and a team that blends into the background, ensuring this hard-won paradise remains impregnable. Yet, the narrative of Valiant 2026 isn't confined to Jamaica's shores. His is a global brand, and his luxury lifestyle necessitates a global footprint. This brings us to his second mansion, the International Statement. Located likely in a guard-gated community in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, or in the verdant suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia, this home serves a different purpose. It is a hub for business, a base for his North American and international ventures, which by 2026 have expanded to include his own record label, a clothing line, and likely strategic investments in tech and spirits. The architecture here is more bold, more aggressively modern. It might be a stark, geometric marvel of glass and steel, a statement of global arrival. The art shifts to an international contemporary collection, maybe a Banksy print, a piece by Kahind Wiley. The garage here houses his most extreme supercars, the Bugatti perhaps residing here for easier access to the sweeping highways of the American South. The pool is a pristine, rectangular lap pool, less for play and more for discipline. This mansion is sleek, efficient, and powerful, a command center. It lacks the palpable soul of the Jamaican compound, but throbs with the energy of ambition and expansion. It says, "I am here, and I am a force." But luxury, in 2026, for an artist like Valiant, has transcended material objects. It is found in the ultimate commodity, time and experience. His luxury is the ability to decide his own schedule, to wake up in Jamaica, have a breakfast of ackee and saltfish prepared by a private chef, record a verse in his home studio, then board a private charter, not a commercial flight, but a sleek, owned or fractional share Learjet or Gulfstream, where the seats are butter-soft leather and the only soundtrack is the hum of the engines and his own thoughts. He can be in Miami for a label meeting by afternoon and back in Kingston for a sunset swim. This mobility, this sovereignty over time and space, is the ultimate signifier of his success. His wardrobe, once dominated by vibrant streetwear, is now a hybrid arsenal. He still drops tens of thousands on limited edition Nike collaborations and exclusive designer streetwear from the likes of Off-White or his own line. A single diamond-encrusted chain, a masterpiece from a jeweler like Elianti or a custom Kingston artisan, might feature a pendant of the Jamaican coat of arms rendered in baguette diamonds, or a V paved in flawless yellow diamonds, a nod to the yellow GTS era that propelled him. But alongside these are impeccably fitted Brunello Cucinelli suits for investor meetings, and high-end casual wear from Loro Piana, the fabric so subtle and expensive it whispers rather than shouts. His watch collection has evolved from flashy, diamond-covered pieces to a more curated selection, a classic, understated Patek Philippe for business, a rugged, blacked-out Audemars Piguet Royal Oak offshore for the studio, and a rose gold Richard Mille, a favorite of athletes and performance artists, for the stage, a piece that costs more than the first house he ever bought. The leisure is as curated as the art. Vacations are no longer just beach trips. They are expeditions. He might be photographed heli-skiing in the Swiss Alps, his crew clad in the latest Moncler gear, or on a safari in Rwanda, staying at a $5,000 a night eco-lodge, watching silverback gorillas, or renting a super yacht, not for a month, but for a week in the Mediterranean with his inner circle, diving off the deck into waters so blue they don't seem real. These experiences are logged sparingly on social media, just enough to feed the legend, to show the world the pinnacle a Jamaican artist can reach. Yet, woven through this tapestry of outrageous success are the threads of the person he was, and, in many ways, still is. The luxury is not just for show. It is a buffer, a reward, and a tool. The mansions are not just for parties. They are sanctuaries for his mother, his family, his childhood friends who are now his managers and confidants. The fleet of cars includes a robust, reliable SUV used discreetly for charitable missions in Waterford, delivering groceries or school supplies. That state-of-the-art studio in his Jamaican home isn't just for him. It's a mentorship hub where he brings in hungry, talented kids from Portmore, giving them access to tools he could only dream of. The luxury has allowed him to build a world where he can protect his peace, nurture his creativity, and lift as he climbs. The boy who knew hunger now ensures no one in his immediate orbit ever will. So what is the luxury lifestyle of Valiant in 2026? It is a dazzling, complex paradox. It is the silent mansion on the hill that echoes with the distant noise of a Waterford street dance. It is the cold, polished steel of a Bugatti door handle and the warm, familiar grip of a cold red stripe beer in his backyard. It is the global jet-setter who still craves a boxed lunch from a trusted Jamaican cook shop. It is the ultimate freedom, purchased at the price of a relentless, inescapable spotlight. His story tells us that the most profound luxury for a person who has risen from the depths is not the thing itself, but the ability to own his narrative completely, to build his own stage, his own kingdom, on his own terms. The mansions are not just structures of wood and stone. They are the physical manifestations of a rhythm that refused to be contained, a voice that demanded to be heard, and a dream that, against all odds, poured itself into concrete, steel, gold, and glass, forever changing the skyline of possibility for every young boy or girl in Jamaica with a rhythm in their heart and a fire in their soul. The final, most luxurious possession is the legacy itself, still being written, still building, still valiant.